Hey guys, welcome back to the Hide. We're back out on the review bench for an old-fashioned bolt-action review. I know it's been a minute since I've done one of these and finally got my hands on a rifle that I find very intriguing when I first seen it. So we do have another Howa back out on the bench. And if you've been following the channel for any time, you know that Savages are probably my favorites, but Howas are most definitely a close second. And this one right here really caught my eye in the fact that it has, from the factory, a 16.5-inch threaded barrel. So it's essentially a bolt-action carbine. Now this one is chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. The overall length of this from tip of the muzzle to the butt is going to be about 36.5 inches. So it is extremely compact. Now, one thing I will say about this is it is a little bit of a chunk. Now, I have a 4 to 12 power Nikon Buckmaster load or mounted on this thing. It's just kind of something I had, but to kind of give you an idea of the weight, I mean, it's a hefty piece, I'm not going to lie. So we're looking at about 8 pounds, 15 ounces, and that's with a 16.5-inch barrel. And guys, this barrel is thick. I mean, it is a super chunk. I even brought out my calipers here. Let's take a minute and just get a real diameter reading on that barrel. I'm kind of interested myself. 0.885 at the muzzle. If you can see that, 0.885. That, I mean, that's definitely getting to bull barrel range. But I have to say, I bet this thing is going to be extremely stable from the bench with probably little to no barrel flex. Now, this rifle does have the green Hogue overmolded stock. Really nice squishy butt pad. I'm sure that will have no problem at all absorbing that recoil. Like I said, this one is threaded 5/8 24. However, this is going to be an out-of-the-box review. I'm going to shoot this one as it came out of the box, so I am not going to shoot it suppressed for this video. I've got 4 different loads we're going to try out at 110 yards. We'll shoot some 5-shot groups and make sure that the rifle is clear. Let's go ahead and get a trigger pull reading on this while we're thinking about it. And right at about 2.5 pounds. So I have not done anything with this rifle other than mount some Burris XTR bases, Leopold rings, and our little Nikon scope. So let's get it over to the bench. We'll get it sighted in. I'll get back with you guys and we'll start putting some rounds downrange. All right, guys, we fired a couple of shots here. We got it on paper. I've got 4 of the SIG Elite Performance 140 grain OTM match rounds loaded up. This is a 4-round internal box mag, standard Howa model 1500. So let's try 5 of these, 110 yards, and see what we can do. Man, it's got some fireballs. All right, it looks like one of them got away from us. not too terribly bad just by looking at it through the scope. I am shooting at about 10 power, but let's try 5 of these 125 grain Winchester Deer Season XP, good deer round. I'm going to go ahead and let the barrel cool down before we try these 5, and we'll see what we can do. All right, guys, we've waited a little bit here. Barrel's good and cool. We'll try 5 of the Winchester Deer Season XP and see how we do here. Tell you what, I'm liking that trigger. It's really, really crisp. All right, 4th one here. I had another one left in there. And we'll go ahead and put him in the magazine there. There we go. Okay. Last one here. All right. So, again, I'm going to let the barrel cool down. Then we're going to try 5 of these 140 grain ELD match rounds from Hornady. So, these tend to be a pretty decent load for a lot of Creedmoor rifles, so I'm really anxious to see how. All right, guys, we've got the barrel cooled down here. We're going to try 5 of those 140 grain ELD match loads. See what they can do here. Again, all at 110 yards. All right, last one of these. I tell you, this thing has definitely got some bite, but surprisingly, it's really not that bad to shoot, even without a brake or a suppressor on it. But that fireball is definitely noticeable in the scope when you're shooting, that's for sure. All right, we'll let it cool down again, and we're going to try some 120 grain ELD match. All right, guys, we've let the barrel cool. I've got 4 of the 120 grain Hornady ELD match loaded in the internal box mag, and I have to say I don't think I've ever shot this load on the channel, so I'm really interested to see how these are going to do. Now I will say the Howa 6.5 Creed used the standard 1/8 twist for the Creedmoor, so it should shoot relatively the same as most other platforms. However, as we know, all guns are their own animal, so fingers crossed here, and let's see what we can do. Last one of these. All right, guys, let me run down. I'm going to grab the target. I'll meet you guys back here on the bench and we'll get some final thoughts. All right, guys, I ran down and got our target here, so let's take a look and see what kind of damage we did. And the first thing that comes to my mind is I sure wish that I knew how to shoot a dang rifle, because we could have had some really nice groups, I tell you. Here's the first 5-shot group with that SIG. There's my thumb for reference. Not terrible, not terrible at all. There's that Deer Season XP. That's most definitely minute of deer. Here is where we start to get into some really intriguing results. So this is the 140 grain Hornady ELD match, and I have no doubt that that was me not knowing how to shoot a dang rifle. But we've got 4 shots, I mean, under an inch right there, dang near 3 of them touching. And then surprisingly enough, look how tight that 120 grain ELD match shot. And honestly, as I mentioned, I don't think I have shot this before yet on the channel. I could be wrong, but the years tend to run together after a while. But I'm sure that right there was me. The rifle is absolutely more than capable. I cannot wait to get some more trigger time behind this. For those of you guys that are interested, maybe not too privy on Howa rifles, just think of them as in my opinion, a refined Remington 700. That's basically what the action's mimicked off of. And they are smooth. I mean, out of the box, they are such a smooth cycling rifle. I have to say, out of all of my Savages, probably my smoothest Savage is my Model 12 with the target action. And this, believe it or not, is actually a smoother action feeling-wise than that Savage Model 12 is. So, as you can see, they just make a really, really good rifle. They're really smooth to shoot. I will say, even being a 16.5-inch barrel, I was really shocked at how, you know, it really wasn't that bad to shoot. I mean, yeah, it had the gigantic fireball and it definitely jumped around on the bench, but it was pretty controllable. I'm sure if I was going to start trying to make some excuses, because that's what we do as shooters, to try and make us feel better about the shots that we've missed, I'm sure that's probably what these little pulled shots are. Just getting kind of out of my comfort zone. Once I settle back down with the rifle, there you go. It puts them right back into about a quarter-sized group. So, I mean, honestly, what more could you really want out of a box factory rifle? I am super stoked on this gun. I really want to do a part 2 to this, get some suppressed footage. I'd like to shoot this same target with these same 4 loads with the suppressor on it. See if we get any shrinking of the groups, maybe a little bit more consistent. I think that'd be pretty interesting to see. If that's something you guys would like to see, post up down below, leave me a comment, let me know. I'd really like to hear from you guys on this. This is probably going to be the last review of 2021, so make it a good one. We're still pushing to get 10,000 subs. This channel would not go on if it weren't for all of your views and support. It is most definitely appreciated. And as always, shoot straight. Later.